Hi everybody. I want to turn you on to a couple different things with our learning summary. So first, I'm using an app which is called Haiku Deck that you can see right here. I love this. It's a very simple interface to create presentations online. What I really like about it is that it automatically allows students and educators to get photos that are Creative Commons legal from Flickr. And so it's just a really easy way to make a simple presentation. Then you have to build the presentation on your iPad, and then you can send it and share it out as a link, and it goes into your gallery. And from your gallery, you can either share the URL or embeddable code. So I made this haiku, and then I'm just using Screencast-O-Matic to record what I'm saying to you. So that's more information that you wanted, but again, I just want to show you new and fun things. So again, Haiku Deck, just check it out. You'll love it. Okay, so week 3. So I hope that all of us had a restful and Thanksgiving, and we're ready to move on to week 4. But before doing so, it's always nice to take a look back to see what we learned in week 3. So my summary this week is just really pulling some quotes from some people. And some of the quotes are cut off. One of the limitations of haiku, but that's okay because it kind of actually gives me something to talk about. So I really liked Slater's statement in the form about resources. I like that he acknowledged that getting grants is very intimidating. I like that he added that and that full self-disclosure, but I really liked how he involved his kids, so that was a neat approach as well, getting your kids involved. But his final point was, that you really need to provide art teachers in his case, but all teachers need an actual model of what grants look like so they can get their feet wet. I was lucky enough to win several Food for Thought grants from Wake Ed Partnership, and they did keep a book of the former year's winners, and I was able to go sit in a room and actually look through those examples and take notes about those winning grant proposals. So that was very helpful. So I just really appreciated Slater's real honesty and acknowledgement of how much we do need models, and that's what I think that grant resource place really does for you, provide you resources as well as models. Kurt, brought to the point to bear that, it is there are so many resources out there, and that, yes, sort of my point of sharing that resource with you all is to let you know that those kinds of things do exist, and that we do need to try to carve out time in order to look for funding resources, both as a school, a team, an individual teacher, wherever you are, whoever you're helping. But what Kurt went on to say was that you need to know where to look and you need to know who to ask, and that he did acknowledge that this resource did provide that for people who were interested in looking for funding. So thank you, Kurt. So we're moving on to the other forum, which was about Diigo, because if we're going to talk about resources, a really great way to review resources, share resources, is something called Diigo, which is just really a social bookmarking online tool, but it also gives opportunity to scaffold online reading comprehension. There were some comments about how this looks like a lot like other things, but I feel like it's kind of one-stop shopping. You can leave notes, you can highlight, and you can actually use Diigo to actually support critical evaluation of online resources as well as online comprehension. That's the educator part. But in terms of sharing resources, Dolores made a really good point about how you can at least have a dialogue around resources, and you don't have to meet face to face to do that, so you can save money during these sort of budgetary constraining times, if you will. So I thought that was a great point by Dolores, so thank you for that. And then finally, I just have to give my hats off to Michelle. I thought Michelle really embodied, what we're all going through. We get really excited about a new resource, a new technology. We don't want to get too distracted by the shiny tool, but there are new things that come out that are exciting, like what I'm doing, like me sharing haiku with you. And then I liked how she said, then it came time for me to practice creating and applying. And then she said I was stuck. And you know what? I think that's really the whole kind of evolution that all educators go through. And our role is to be models of perseverance, as Michelle was, because even though she got stuck, she still kept trying and kept trying, and she was able to get onto WIDAs, and she joined a couple groups. So, and she was honest about how she's not really sure how I'm going to use that, yes. And I think that's a really like healthy attitude, that she's allowing herself to experience what Digo's all about before she really puts her thinking cap on about how do I go out and use that. And that's what happens sometimes too fast, is that we see a tool and then we're just immediately using it to deliver with our constituents, our colleagues, our peers, but we haven't really had time to play with it ourselves, and we haven't allowed ourselves to go through that learning curve, climb that curve, if you will, and understand that there are things that are going to be difficult, things that are going to be hard. So I just really appreciated Michelle's honesty this week about her difficulties when working with Digo. Love it. Thank you, Michelle. So finally, I feel like all of us, all of you had similar comments, to the ones that I've highlighted here in our summary. But what came through loud and clear in all of your comments was a very clear commitment to allocating learning resources that were based on schools, districts, or individual educators' needs, and that's really important. And what we know is those principles. We have to make sure that our resources serve a purpose, which hopefully is meeting intended learner outcomes for our educators and/or students. That we have a set of values that we outline. I mean, what do we want to get? What is the return on investment in terms of the resources that we get? That there's some sort of method. Do we go about of sort of is there a protocol for how we evaluate resources? Do you have a Digo account where you invite people to take a look and weigh in and then maybe vote on an Eddystore? Are the resources that we looked at based in research, best practice? Are we reaching out to community partnerships? Are we leveraging those relationships in the business community to see what kind of resources we can negotiate for our schools, districts, or individual educators? And then finally, it's just really important that we have a really clear, targeted conversation around allocation and procurement of resources if we truly want to accomplish continuous improvement, particularly in this digital age. Thank you so much for hanging in there during a very tough week 3, and we look forward to our learning together in week 4.